Hello, my subscribers and friends. Today we're going to be talking about the history of improv. Was improv created simply for comedy? Funny you should ask. Improvisation, I'm happy to say, is older than I am by about 1,000 years. The art began with the ancient Greeks. It was recreated by Shakespeare, whose written scripts were for the most part guidelines for actors to follow based on audience reaction. So, just like some people forget that food delivery companies are older than your grandmother, improv began a very long time ago. Improv in the United States began with teachers named Viola Spolin and Neva Boyd. They worked at Hull House in Chicago in the 1930s and 40s, our first social work program in America. Their students were primarily children and immigrants who did not speak English. Now, who's going to teach something to children that's not active, not positive, and is no fun? Not Viola and Neva. So one of Viola's children, a man named Paul Sills, is one of the pioneers of improv. The fact that Viola, Neva, and the people who expanded improv from its behavior teaching roots were in the Chicago area is why the world's best improv classes and improvisers come from Chicago. Short-form improv is scientifically shown to improve confidence, assertive and healthy communication, and many other positive life skills. What is short-form improv? Scenes of 2 to 4 minutes in length that have a beginning, middle, and end. My mental health and ability to communicate were improved with improv skills. Like Sheldon Cooper likes to say, I was tested. A few years ago, I had problems understanding charts, graphs, and learning through what I saw. So I had 2 comprehensive tests done on my cognition. I was not surprised that testing of how I used things like visual diagram was at the 20th percentile of people. Carnies even used to show me how to beat games and I couldn't, but I was also not surprised that, except for a mild aphasia called fluent paraphasia, my verbal acuity was in the 90th percentile. When I asked the psychologist who interpreted my results why I had such a difference between visual and verbal abilities, she told me that it had to be the improv, musical theater, and improv teaching that I was doing. I may be the first person in her practice who was prescribed improv as part of his recovery from fluent paraphasia. Like I just said, the type of aphasia I have is fluent paraphasia. I can speak well, but I have trouble recognizing proper names and nouns at times. We have certain workarounds, such as explaining how a thing works in order to talk about it. I have asked my wife once, for example, to get me a drink from the thing that keeps food cold. I purposefully put only my skim milk and creamer in my fridge, and she knows when to give me which one. Even though I rarely have problems with paraphasia, it does get worse due to my sleepiness from apnea. But you know, you got to treat these issues with humor. One of my classes had a person named Michelle and a person named Mitchell in it. We lost track of all the times I called one by the other's name. We always made fun of it because that's how you cope with it. I truly believe, and my practice is built on, that improv has a role in care of anxiety and depression. It helps me contain the symptoms of my post-traumatic stress disorder, which at times are very severe. You see, the rules of improv are also good rules for life. Take yes and, for example. Yes and is the principle that no matter what the other players say to you, you must accept and build upon it. When in conversations, we often hear things that we immediately want to object to, and often we do. However, yes and teaches you to take a moment to find a thing in this discussion that you can agree and build upon. If you also use the rule that you don't deny, but justify another person's character actions during games, you can learn to agree to disagree and make your points more politely in real life. And if you are a medical or social work professional who hears and sees some pretty objectionable things as part of their work, the non-judgmental attitude we need to project in order to serve our clients is easier to do and easier on us if we know improv. Another one of my videos talks about how I was able to explain to a child why a parent committed suicide when I was asked only moments before I had to have that conversation. I was able to build on my natural empathy skills by those skills I practiced as an improviser in training at that time. So I hope that this video gives you a better understanding of the beginnings and the value of theatrical improvisation. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fun is Healthy channel and visit my website at Healthy Entertainment for blogs that are free and services that show you how fun is healthy.